Gilad is still held captive. In the tent itself, I don't know how many of you have been to Jerusalem this summer. It's an incredible experience. Aside from all the visitors, there's a huge cloth. There's a huge cloth that goes all the way down the block. It's probably the length of twice this wall, that everyone who comes to visit signs and leaves letters and do all of this. The family saves every single piece of mail, every single email, every picture that's drawn. They save everything. Gilad's room is full of this in their house, so that when he does come home, he can see all of these things. I know you mentioned earlier that one of the things you were talking about is doing letters. This is something that the Shalit family saves. Noam and Aviva read every piece of mail, and they save everything for Gilad to see when he comes home, so that he will know that this is for all of us. The important thing about this tent, and the important thing about doing events like this, and there's two purposes to it. One of them is, of course, we all want to show the Shalit family our support. It's important that they know that they're not alone in this. But even more importantly is that Bibi and the government need to know that the Shalit family are not alone in this. That this is something that we all feel needs to get done. We all feel that Gilad needs to come home. We need to know that when we send our boys, they're going to come home. I know there's an opposition that talks about price. People say, well, but it's one soldier, and we're talking about releasing 450 murderers, 450 abhorrent, terrible, horrible murderers, people that we know murdered our children, and we're talking about releasing them in exchange for one person. And is that really a price that's worth paying? Well, there's several responses. On a personal level, as a mother, let's all think about this a minute. Does our child have a price? Does our husband have a price? Does our father? I mean, do humans have a price? Is that what we're talking about here? And as far as the 450 murderers that we're talking about releasing, well, there's two sides. Do we want to keep them because they deserve it? Because yes, they deserve it. They deserve to rot in prison. Although they're not rotting in prison, they're getting degrees and 3 square meals a day. But the thing is, more importantly, that we messed up here. A soldier got kidnapped because we messed up. And we need to fix what we messed up. And let's not be naive enough to think that the last few years, there haven't been as many terror attacks because these 450 people are in prison. None of us are irreplaceable. It doesn't matter if you're CEO in an important corporation or if you're the head of a terror organization or one of the heads of a terror organization. None of us are irreplaceable. And they are building new leaders. And if there have been fewer attacks, it is because of the work of Tzahal, it is because of God, it is because of things that we are doing. It is not because these 450 people are in prison. Halevai, that it would be that easy. That we caught the bad guy and now we have nothing to worry about. I think if we all knew that, then you're right, there isn't a question. But here is a chayal that we know is alive. And there are still terror organizations that are fighting to do this. There is still Hamas and Hezbollah, and they are still developing weapons, and they are still trying to do terror attacks. And none of that is being prevented because these people are in prison. It's being prevented because Tzahal is strong.